dealing with really being in peace, because they just toughed it down on the inside. And this is years ago, I did some study on people that like drank alcohol and different things. And there are different manifestations of anger, different manifestations of depression. And what it is when people stuff stuff down on the inside and not really deal with it. And there used to be, this is back in the Ice Age when I was a kid. They used to the way to deal with anger is to get it all out. Well, I did a prison ministry for 22 years, and a lot of people got it all out, and they're actually in a prison because of it. So that's not really how to do it. So how to do it is to deal with it spiritually, correctly. And so we've been talking about decrees, and so I'm going to show you a decree that is going to help you to stay steady and to stay level during these rocky times, because it's going to be rocky over the next, all these months and probably the next 2 or 3 years. So look over at 1 Thessalonians 5, and we're going to look at 23. This, of course, is the Amplified Bible. And may the God of peace himself sanctify you. There's something about peace. I know people say sanctified. That means don't wear any makeup and, all that. That's not what sanctified. Sanctify means that God, through the power of the blood of Jesus, has made us right, made us holy in his eyes. But there's stuff we got to get straight in our thinking so that our thinking is sanctified, because sometimes our thinking is not sanctified. And so how does he do that? He separates us from profane things. And not keeping our peace is profane, because we get mad, we pop off, we say stuff. Do you know how many divorces have happened because people said stuff and they said stuff and they said stuff and then finally end divorce? You know how many kids grow up not liking their parents, not even want to be around their parents because they said stuff and they said stuff and there was a division there? Do you know how many parents don't want to be around their kids because their kids said stuff and said stuff? So somewhere we've got to have, how many people actually get let go or fired from their job because they popped off with their mouth? And so we've got to deal with this, because Jesus said, I have come to bring peace. Yes, I know he said, I've come to bring a sword to divide. But what is he going to divide? He's going to divide us from profane things. So the things of Satan, just think how angry Satan is. Just think about how profane Satan is. He is absolutely totality of hatred. And so we've got why did I get mad about that? Why couldn't I keep my cool? Have you ever said that? I've said that to myself plenty of times. So what he wants to do is what? Separate us from profane things. Now watch. Those things, once we get separated from, then he will make us pure and wholly consecrated to the Lord. That our soul, this is awesome, that our soul and body may be preserved sound and complete and found blameless at the coming of the Lord. Isn't that amazing? So we're talking about peace here. He's going to give us peace to the place to where it's going to affect our physical body. And many years ago, I looked up the word disease. And I found out if you take the DIS off of disease, you have DIS over here and ease over here. So there's dis-ease somewhere. What is at dis-ease inside your soul, inside your thinking, inside my soul, inside my thinking? What is not at peace on the inside? It could be the same thing with the finances. People this is just so confusing, when they're trying to work with their finances. What is the separation there? What exactly is going on? Where is the lack of peace? Because Jesus said he is the Prince of Peace. And the word says that God, the God of peace, will bruise the head of Satan. The head of Satan, think about the thinking process. What happens to you when you're sitting around and you just you hear some of this news and stuff that's come on, and Lord have mercy. God, come on. Are you going to have peace when it's over? Are you going to go what am I going to do? How is this going to happen? You have all this stuff running around. Do you still have peace? And I know, especially Pastor George Pearson, I just got to talk about him. I've seen him because I've been out there since 1984 at KCM, and I watched him so many times when there'd be like a stressful situation, and I watch people, and he would just like go. He would just think before he started to speak. It was amazing. And I got ready to do a video thing yesterday, and Barbara was with me. And I leaned over to Barbara and I said, Barbara, help me to think before I speak. Just help me to take a deep breath before I start speaking, because I wanted to get myself in a peaceful place before I opened my mouth and said something that would not be like I needed to say. So how does decrees work? How are you going to be in a peaceful place when, I don't know, what if we started having riots? What if the bank did fail? What if some more banks, I don't know, they're projecting, I think they said like 500 banks is supposed to fail maybe this year. So if banks start failing, and what if we go to the grocery store and there's no more toilet paper? Yikes! You know, are we going to be peaceful? Are we going to be, yeah? So how are you going to stay in a place of peace? One of the things you can do is with your decrees, like I've been teaching you for the last few days, you get up in that higher level where you're operating in authority, the real realm of authority, because Satan is the opposite of peace. He is total chaos. Have you ever gone into people's house? I know you have. And it is so peaceful. You just love it. You walk in and man, you just feel like you could sit down in a chair and take a nap. It's just so wonderful. It's so peaceful. Then walk in somebody else's house, the kids are screaming, they're running around, they're slapping each other, and the stuff's going on. They've got the TV going, they got music going, you know, like this. Ooh. And what do you want to do? You want to get out of there, right? Because God has created us to be in peace, because Satan is chaos. So one of the decrees that you can start making is the same thing that Jesus said in Genesis 1. To the chaos, he said, light be. And like I told you before, you can use, instead of using the word light, it helps me if I do this, truth be, because truth is freedom to us when we know it. So you can start, in fact, I've told y'all about my house. They finally, oh, thank God, I finally got the sheetrock and everything up in the garage, and it's getting to be organized. But you know, since I've been building the house, how many times I walked in that garage and it was just blah, you know, and I'd walk out there, you could probably hear me a block away, I'd go, light be, because I wanted the chaos to get to where it was organized and I could actually find different things and things are where they're supposed to be. Why is that? People want that. We absolutely have to have that. And so how are you going to be able to control your peace yourself to where you're not, you know, you've heard that old saying, I'm just going to give it peace of my mind. You go, no, you probably need to keep it because you need all your mind. So we got to get to the place to where we're making decrees, because I can tell you we're coming up against some days to where we're going to be peaceful no matter what. And just a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, I was on an airplane. I mind telling you, that airplane was rocking and rolling. Man, we were up and down, and it took forever to get up. And once we got up, there were storms all over the place. And then when we got ready to land, it took almost an hour for us to land because that airplane was this way, all this way and everything. And I was just like, wow, like, would you just calm down? So what I did is I looked out the window and I said, I'm commanding peace to come to those winds out there. And this is what I said. I said, I command a tunnel, an opening that this airplane can get in where it's peaceful so we can get to our destination. I don't want to